Hello, my name is Javier Martin, and I will be describing to you my level. The player starts off at this point, which is a metro station. Immediately, he will be given two objectives. One is to find the vast briefcase full of money, and the second one is to reestablish power to the metro station. This second objective will be introduced to the player in the form of a fuse and a fuse box system. Both will be glowing as to infer that they belong together. As soon as he places that fuse inside the fuse box, the light and power do turn on in the station. Then he will have to grab this crate to get onto the platform. Without it, he will barely not make it. It would look like he can, but he will try several times and see that he does need to place a crate in order to get onto the platform. Then another objective will say to locate the control room and establish power. This is the control room, and he will find another fuse and fuse box system, but this time there will be two of them. So he will have to look for the other fuse, which is located outside. He can choose whichever fuse he desires, and he will have to bring that fuse inside the control room. And as soon as that happens, he will be given the command to push the button to activate the monitors by pressing E. As soon as the player sees this, he can also zoom in by pressing Shift. I will be adding that to the message volume as well. And here he will be able to look at both of those monitors and see that there is an opening inside the train. Objective number 4 is exactly that, which is to get inside the train somehow. So then the player will have to go back outside, and this time instead of stacking up one box to get onto the platform, he has to stack up 3 boxes to get onto the train. So he will have to use the grapnel and move these boxes accordingly so that he can create somewhat of a stairwell to get onto the train. This is a more tedious task for the player, so it takes a little bit more time, but with a little bit of practice, he will be able to do exactly that and place the crates one on top of another, and then move this last crate just in place for him to jump onto the metro train. Once on the metro, he can get inside, and there is the briefcase. That is basically the mission objective. So he will have completed the objective. He can also get those collectibles. Those collectibles were placed there essentially to mark the spot where he can use to get inside the train. Then he will have another fuse and fuse box system. This time there will be 3. He will have to look for these because without them, he won't be able to open these doors. He was not able to do so on the outside of the train as well. So he will have to put in the fuses inside the fuse boxes using the grapnel. There's number 2. And finally, number 3. And now, magic, the doors open. So once he's outside, he has completed all 5 objectives. But now there will be more of an indication on what to do because the objective volume is placed here in the elevator. I will make sure to place it outside of the train so it's a little more clear on what the player needs to do next. But there will be a glowing note right next to the elevator which says the elevator plate is acting up again and needs at least 150 kilos to open the doors. I've used 50 kilo crates in the past. So now we know that it needs 3 50 kilo crates. So we have to go ahead and place these crates on the platform because this is the only way up for the player. He can attempt to go up through that debris, won't be able to do so. And he can stack up crates, but there will be a collider, an invisible collider, or maybe the removal of certain crates to prevent the player from breaking the game and getting to the second level without using the elevator. So once this is the second crate, which is placed, here's the third one. So as you can see, the mechanics are now getting a little more complex. There is a fuse box mechanic, as well as a crate on platform mechanic for the player to proceed onto the elevator. Let's see if we can get this last crate without it wobbling. Alright, that seems to be placed barely into place. Now let's get these fuses. There's one. There's another. Go over here. There should be one on the stairs here. You can grab that. And lastly, one over here. There is another fuse in case the player loses one for whatever reason. There is another fuse at the end of the platform. But if all crates are in place, the platform does drop and the elevator door opens. Checkpoint is reached and he can press E to go up to the second floor. Elevator will close. The player will go up to the second floor. Objective is reached. As soon as he steps out, there's a new objective which says find the 3 pieces needed to repair the train and attach them to it. As soon as he approaches this barrel, it says it looks dangerous. He will have to use this barrel to explode this wall. As soon as it makes impact, the wall does explode. And if he attempts to go inside this door, it says the maintenance room door is locked. So he can go in here and find a pentagraph, which is one of the 3 pieces that he needs. I will also make sure to indicate that this is one of the 3 pieces. Maybe I'll say piece 1 of 3 or found, to make clear to the player that that's one of the pieces that he needs to attach to the train. These light fixtures this light fixture was placed like that in order for the player to realize that it can be destroyed or maybe dropped. So he can practice that with these debris pieces, and that will make him realize that he can use these to create a platform to get across to the other side. So if he gets to the other side, he sees the pickup, the breadcrumb, and there will be a dead security guard that he can approach and get a maintenance key and also an exit key. He now has access to that maintenance room that was locked before. And over here, there's some debris because the ceiling collapsed. He will have to crouch, and he will be able to find a jack to use on the train. So he will have to use the grabnel and crouch to move this past the debris field. Once that is done, if he doesn't move fast enough, there we go, he has to pick it up and then just throw it down. He will have to place that inside the train, or in front of the train, I should say. Then he gets over to the maintenance room. Now the doors will open since he does have the key in hand. And there's that missing wheel, which is also messaged to the player, which he has to grab and also drag over to the train. It's a little more tedious because of the door, but with practice, it's easy to move. Just have to back up here and just throw it down. So once he has those 3 pieces, he'll be able to grab them. There is an outline which will also have a glowing effect because it's not very visible, but on top of the train right there, there is an outline of the pentagraph. It's just a larger version of this item. So he can throw it up there and it will illuminate as soon as it makes contact with it. So that's piece 1 of 3. Then the wheel will be in the front here. He should have noticed, I will also make that a little more clear, but he should have noticed that this train is on a tilt. It's slanted. That's because it is missing that wheel. And that wheel is also outlined down here. Again, that will be glowing. It will make it more obvious that he needs to place it. It snaps right into place as soon as it picks up that the player does have that item, and once it's snapped into place, once all three items, this is the jack, once all three items are snapped into place, the train should be able to move. So the player will go back into the control room, and if he approaches this button, it says the button releases the train. As you can see, he presses E, and the train moves forward. And the only reason the train moved forward is to expose that door over there, and that door is the exit door. So essentially, he can go down here, and a new objective is created, which is escape the metro station. Here it says, this door is always giving me a headache. The plate needs at least 200 kilos on it. So given the mechanic from before of the elevator, we know that each crate is 50 kilos. So the player will have to use 4 crates this time to open that exit door. So he just has to move these over on top of the platform. He should have already 3 crates nearby, because those are the ones that he used to get on top of the train. So you can just use these again. Move them over, not too much. There it is. And the 4th one. And all these collectibles that you see around are just so that the player knows where the next objective is, or how to proceed inside the level. But if he puts 4, the doors will open, and he will be able to escape the metro station. For some reason, Objective 7 did not mark as complete. I will make sure that that complete objective volume is placed also near the train or near the exit doors, so that it completes, since the only way he can be near the exit door is if he moves the train over. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the level, and I look forward to the feedback. Thank you very much.